What's up, guys? Welcome in. We're back to another episode. Barbers United Fantasy Football League. Just me and Dalton. OG crew today. You're knocking it out. And weird week in the NFL, dude. Did you get to watch any of it?
I watched the Chiefs. I didn't have a lot of time to watch everybody else, but yeah, I made sure to watch the Chiefs.
The Patriots beat the Bills.
I did see
Ravens destroyed the Lions. And then Monday Night Football, the Vikings beat the 49ers. So weird week.
Yeah.
And weird week in fantasy as well. I was telling Dalton before. We're going to talk about his matchup here in a minute. But Dalton's stat line this week read literally like 2, 3,
here, I can
4,
give you the numbers with no
2,
names here.
3, 4. Yeah, give us the numbers.
14, 9, 13, 2, 3, 35, 1, 3, 2. For those of you who don't know,
I thought Kelsey was going to do it by himself. It was literally Kelsey or die this week.
Dude, the way that he played in the first half, I was like, he's going to give me 60 points.
Let's jump into all these matchups, Dalton.
Recapping week 7, we have the Daltonius Daddies losing to Team J Money 85-94. Team Only Fades beating Big Dub Shuts 161-86. The Catalina Wine Mixin losing to Lucas, the Book of Mormoms 117-157. The Cooper Scoopers losing to Trap Daddy Thatcher 77-97. Team T-Shet losing to Team MJ Burley in beatdown fashion 88-171. And finally, for our game of the week last week, we have CD's TDs beating Team JM Landrum 140-122.
Dude, in this game of the week did not disappoint.
It really didn't.
Jake showed up. He actually had, I think, the 5th most points, if I'm correct on that.
I believe so.
So he was in the top half of scoring. He just went against Blake, who is on fire. His heater continues. 4 wins in a row. Alvin Kamara, he's back. 12 catches, dude. I mean, that is an Alvin Kamara stat line right there, dude.
Yep.
Put up almost 30 points, and his hot streak continues. So despite Jordan Addison going absolutely off in that Monday night game, good week for both teams, though.
Agreed. I've actually, weirdly enough, been trying to scheme up a trade in my head to send to Blake to try to get AK all week.
Nothing.
And I got nothing. Cool, because my thing is I don't want to give up Jefferson, and I feel like for Kamara, I'm going to have to give up Jefferson. But I'm still thinking, I feel like there's something that can be made there. Blake hit my line.
Lucas hit your line.
Lucas did. Lucas proposed a trade to me. Jeff Wilson just came off the IR. I had, and we can talk about this more later, a week of just straight up bye week players. My entire bench, minus Clyde Edwards-Hilaire, was on the bye week. And Clyde may as well have been on the bye week. He got half a point. So the whole bench was on the bye week. And Jeff Wilson just comes off the IR for Miami. He didn't have a great week, but also, it's his first week off the IR. We'll cut him a little bit of slack. And Lucas sends me a trade, Jeff Wilson and Justin Jefferson for Puka Nacua. 2 weeks ago, I would have taken that deal.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I would have taken that deal.
You've made it through the hard part, Dalton.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost
You survived. You're almost there. Yeah. Jefferson's right there. You'll be all right.
I think so. I think I'm going to agree with that.
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Dude, so we had some other matchups. I hate to talk about this, so we're not going to talk long about it. Mark and Ty. What happened here, dude?
Dude, Mark is my biggest dub this week.
You want to jump into big?
Let's jump into the superlatives. Yeah. Mark is my biggest winner.
Biggest win, Mark.
Absolutely. He dropped 171, most points in the league, I'm pretty sure for the first time this season, and just laid an absolute beatdown on a top 5 team for, what is that, for his second win of the season? That's a huge dub.
You know what they call garbage time touchdowns?
I mean, I thought it was just a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, but what that means,
of course,
right?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. The game's already over.
The game's already over. Yeah. You're just running up the score, beating them up. No reason you could just let up and just win. That's what Mark did. It was just garbage time. Ty's team didn't show up. They had a bad week.
Yeah,
and so
he picked up Deshaun off waivers.
Bad week. The quarterback situation is going to be what haunts Ty for the entire season. I mean, he's gone from Anthony Richardson to Deshaun Watson to Russell Wilson. He can't. I mean, they're all terrible. It's not his fault. He's just having bad luck at quarterback. But this isn't as much about Mark. Mark, let's see his team do this in a week that matters. This week didn't matter. He went up against a lesser team in ties, and they won by 90 points. But they just ran it up. They just ran up the score. I
guess so. Everybody on his team had a career day.
Yeah. It's not going to happen again.
Which kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, considering I'm the one who gave him Cook.
I did tell you that was going to be bad for you.
I mean,
not really.
Not really. Derrick Henry,
James
the
Cook's
one week that I've had, like the 1 week that I've gotten to play Derrick Henry because of the bye week stuff this week, right?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry balled out.
Fair enough.
And so I'm not mad at it. I'm happy for Mark.
Biggest loss.
Biggest loss. I think I'm going to have to go Peyton on our biggest loss to avoid just going the biggest loss being the loss to the biggest winner, right?
Right.
I think I'm going to have to go Peyton because of one guy for real. Bijan.
He's an Atlanta Falcon. What do you expect?
Eckler didn't really play that well, but Bijan getting 0.3 should never happen. He also left a lot of points on the bench.
Yeah.
Take a look at his bench, like Algier, Warren, Sutton, Downs. We're talking 14, 10, 19, 23. Like he had the winning team. He did not have the winning lineup.
He's got a good team, man. He's very deep. He's going to be fine. I think more what this shows me is like that 5 through everyone that's 4-3 and 3-4. They're so interchangeable right now. They're 1 or 2 pieces away. They're 1 or 2 moves away. They're 1 or 2 starter sits away from being a number 1 or number 2 or number 3 team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even all the way down to shots, which is crazy to say. I mean, he's on a 2-game losing streak. We're going to talk about him. But I mean, all the way down from Ty to Shots, those 5 teams right there are 1 or 2 plays every single week away from being the highest scorer in the league or the lowest scorer in the league. You know, I think Ty has a great team. He just got to figure out what's he going to do at quarterback, because everybody he puts in there literally goes out in the first quarter. And if he did that, I mean, if he had Anthony Richardson starting and finishing games earlier in the season, he'd probably be 6-1, at least 5-2.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah, he'd be in the top 3. Peyton, you look up and down his roster, same thing. You've got Travis Kelce, who literally just carried your team on his back, almost won it for you, and Justin Jefferson coming off of IR. Jake, same way, he gets a win, or almost gets a win. He puts up the 5th most points in the league and just doesn't win because of his matchup. So all the way up and down, those teams it's going to be a battle for those playoff spots. I think Lucas through Marcos, pretty safe right now. I mean, things can happen, injuries, things could fall apart. Pretty safe. I think there's 5 of you battling for 2 spots, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun to see who gets in there.
When is I haven't looked to check and see when is our playoff.
Oh, we've got time. It's by no means a guarantee. That's just from what I'm saying is based on how the season has started. That's what it looks like, in my opinion. But I think we have all the way to week like 13 or 14.
Is it week 13? Okay. It usually is
14. 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Week 14. So, yeah. So, there's plenty of time. Anybody can fall out. Nobody is completely safe. I'm just saying right now we're at the midweek or mid-season, and that's what it's looking like. So,
Thin Ice this week, I think we got to give it to Shuts. Unfortunately, I could say we could give it to Braden. He's on a 5 losing streak.
Listen, I reached out to Braden. I offered him some help. You know, I offered him help a couple weeks ago. I gave him Mike Evans to try to bring him out of this despair. Didn't really do much for him. So I reached out yesterday. I said, listen, man, you can't wait for Deebo Samuel to come back. He's got Deebo Samuel. He's out. He's at least out for next week. If he loses one more game, I mean, he might already be done. He's probably done. He can't wait for Deebo. So I offered him a fair trade.
What was the trade?
Well, I was going to give him Adam Thielen to get Deebo Samuel.
If I were in that position, I would probably take that too.
Adam Thielen's a top 10 wide receiver. Deebo Samuel's on the bench.
Yeah. And Deebo doesn't get the same looks this year, I feel like, that Thielen gets. Yeah, I don't know. I get that. I get being like hesitant for that trade though, just off of like namesake, right?
Got to win.
But yeah.
It's about points.
It's out there. Points.
He said he's going to mull it over. Think about it.
It is about points. No, that's an interesting one. I'm not mad at that. But we're not going to put Braden on thin ice because we feel like, unfortunately for Braden, the ice is cracked a little too thin and he might have already fallen through, unfortunately. So we're going to put Shots on thin ice this week. He's on a 2-game skid. I think he'll figure it out, though.
I think the 3 wins were the more shocking part than the 2 losses.
Than the 2-game skid?
Yeah. Give us our standings, Dalton.
All right, our standings going into week 8. We have at number 1, Lucas, the Book of Mormoms. Number 2, Jonas Only Fades. At number 3, moving up in the rankings, we have Blake, CDs, TDs. Number 4, we have Marcos, Trap Daddy Thatcher. Number 5 is Ty, Team T Shet. Number 6 is Peyton, the Cooper Scoopers. Number 7, yours truly, the Daltonius Daddies. Number 8, Team JM Landrum. Number 9, Big Dub Shuts. Number 10, Team MJ Burley. Number 11, Team J Money. And number 12, Braden, the Catalina Wine Mixin. Our upcoming matchups for week 8. We've got Team MJ Burley taking on Team J Money. It's actually a pretty important matchup. Number 10 versus number 11. Could decide a couple things late in the year. Then we've got the Daltonius Daddies taking on Big Dub Shuts. We've got Only Fades taking on CDs, TDs. The Catalina Wine Mixin taking on Team JM Landrum. The Cooper Scoopers taking on Ty, Team T Shet. And for our game of the week, we will have Marcos, Trap Daddy Thatcher taking on number 1, Lucas, the Book of Mormoms.
Should we start there?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the game of the week.
Let's start with this game of the week, dude. This is going to be a battle. These two have been top of the league the last 2 years. These two played in the playoffs last year. Now, Lucas was a little bit down with the injuries. And so this is his chance to get right and get back at Marcos. This is going to be a fun one, man.
This is the redemption arc.
Who are you taking?
I think I have to pick Lucas because of how consistently he's been just dominant this season. Marcos has had a couple down weeks. I mean, we were talking earlier, we could say he had a down week this week and got a good matchup.
I need Marcos to win this. I need Lucas humbled. Ever since he came in here, handed me that L, he hasn't lost since then, dude. Someone's got to beat this man. I want to be number 1 in the league. I want to be number 1 in the league. And Lucas is stopping me from that. So I need Marcos to desperately need Marcos to win this matchup. I'm picking Marcos.
You're picking Marcos.
Yes.
Alrighty. We will see.
Dude, let's talk about Mark and John. Can we talk about Mark and John?
Yeah.
Bottom here. Mark's texting me all over again. He gets another win and he thinks he's on top of the mountain. He thinks he's winning the whole league. He's not winning anything. He's not doing anything, just like his Atlanta Falcons. They're frauds. He's a fraud. His team is fraudulent. But he says he's going on a 3-game win streak. How do you feel about that?
I could see it. With his current starting lineup, yeah, I could see it. There's a little doubtful next to Jerome Ford, but if Jerome Ford plays, yeah, man, I could see it.
This is a significant matchup, though, because I do think that you lose this match and you put yourself in a really, really, really bad spot. And if you win this match, you catapult yourself into that category where we talked about it earlier, where there's that group of 4 or 5 teams. You could be the 5th or 6th team that's fighting for that playoff spot. I think a win here puts you right back in that mix, and a loss puts you on the outside looking in. So yeah. I think this is a big matchup. Even though it's 10 versus 11, it could very much be the game of the week because this could be the difference between a team that makes the playoffs and doesn't.
I agree completely. You want to talk about what else could be our game of the week?
And John's going to win that game, by the way, if you want my prediction.
John, I am also going to predict John to win J Money because John is still one of the highest scorers in the league.
And because Mark is Mark.
All right, let's talk about the next game that I also think could have been a potential game of the week. Number 2 versus number 3, you versus Blake.
Blake's hot, man. He's on a 4-game win streak, and it's time to cool him down, Dalton. It's time to cool him down.
So this is a difficult one for me to pick because, like, you obviously see I'm wearing my Patrick Mahomes jersey.
Yes, sir. You wore it for a reason. Guy. You knew what you were doing.
But also, man, I love
knew what
Alvin
you were doing.
Kamara.
Come on. If Taylor Swift's at that game, you know what's happening, bro.
Blake, if I pick Jonas, can we still work out a trade for Alvin Kamara?
You don't need Alvin Kamara.
All right. I am going to pick Jonas.
Let's go.
I am going to pick Jonas.
It's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see this one. I'm picking myself, of course.
That'll be. I feel like this is one. Do y'all have anybody that plays on Monday?
It's a playoff preview week, dude. We've got the 1 and the 4 versus the 2 and the 3.
Yeah.
So here we go. No more easy matchups. Time to see who's for real.
No, that's for real. I would venture to say this is going to be one that you're sweating through Monday evening.
Think so?
I think so.
Do we have guys in Monday night games?
The Lions are playing Vegas.
Ooh.
On Monday.
Yeah. So I have Jahmyr Gibbs. So you think it's going to come down to him? Oh, and I have the defense.
Yeah.
So and yeah, it's definitely going to come down to Monday night.
And he's got Laporta.
Yes.
So that.
Cool.
Those are some pretty important guys.
Yeah, I like that.
That are playing on Monday.
I like that.
So that's all weekend affair. Be sweating.
Nice. Let's go to your matchup, dude. You and Shots. You're not going to let Shots beat you, are you?
I'm going to have to, it looks a little skewed right now because I'm still going off of my bye week lineup. My lineup hasn't been adjusted yet. So I'm predicted to get just absolutely slapped as it stands right now. But I'll be able to fix things up like Derrick Henry, Chuba Hubbard, Brandon Cooks. They're all not on a bye week anymore. Tank Dell's supposed to be back. DK Metcalf's supposed to be back. The team image is going to look completely different here in a couple hours. I'm picking myself.
I'm riding with you, Dalton. Let's get it. Back on the daddy train.
Yeah, buddy. Next matchup we'll go over is the Catalina Wine Mixin versus Team JM Landrum. This one,
very simple. If Braden makes a trade and comes and gets Adam Thielen, he will win this matchup. If he does not, Jake wins this one and he wins it easily, period.
I think trade or no trade, I think JM Landrum will win this matchup.
Peyton and Ty, these two, they play with my head every single week, man. I don't know if they're real contenders or not. They both have great rosters. Peyton's got such a deep roster. Ty, if he could just get his quarterback position. We've said it 10 times today. We've said it 10 times this season. Every single week we come in here, that quarterback position, if they could just show up. I really don't know. I think these are two very good teams. They both just, neither of their teams showed up last week, or at least none of the people in Peyton's starting lineup showed up.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Ty, though. I think Ty wins this one. Actually, I can't. Peyton. I want to go Ty, but until his quarterbacks become consistent, it's Russell Wilson. I clicked on it. It's Russell Wilson. Yeah.
What you just talked through, I went through as soon as I opened it up. I was looking through their rosters as I was listening to you, and I was like, I think Ty's going to win this. And then I scroll back up and I see Russell Wilson. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going with Peyton, man.
Peyton's winning this one.
Sorry, Ty.
Ty's got to get this QB situation figured out.
Yeah.
Because I do think he has the roster of a top 3, top 4 team.
So the waivers were a little quiet this week.
They were quiet.
An interesting one. Marcos picked the Chiefs defense back up again, and that was the only thing that had multiple bids on it. He paid $7 for the Chiefs, and Peyton bid $2 for the Chiefs. Everything else we had, Ty picked up Taysom Hill for $12. JM Landrum picked up the Dolphins for $7, only one who bid on it. Ty also picked up the Falcons defense for $1, and then Jonas, you picked up Odell Beckham Jr. for nothing?
Nothing, dude. OBJ.
How many points did he get last week?
I don't know, like 7 or 8.
Oh, he got almost 10.
Almost 10.
He got almost 10. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a nice random flex in there kind of deal. No, that's not bad. Dude.
I'll take it. I had a couple guys that weren't doing anything for my bench, and so had him on there, give me a little bit more depth. Think he'll be good.
Yep, got to cut him off.
Got to. That'll do it, my man. We will be back next week, and hopefully we'll both be winners, right?
Yep.
Chiefs get the Denver Broncos, so that should be an easy win for you guys. My Steelers are playing the Jaguars, so that should be fun.
Denver Broncos are weak sauce.
The Steelers are 4-2.
Are they actually?
4-2, dude. Doesn't feel like 4-2. Hasn't looked like 4-2.
They beat the Rams this weekend.
But it's 4-2, yeah.
And was it in SoFi they beat them?
In SoFi.
That's impressive.
I don't know what to think of them, but we're 4-2, so we'll take it.
That's all that matters. Who's at the top of that division right now?
I think
or is
technically
it a 3-way tie.
No, I think I want to say the Ravens might be 5-2 now. Someone is 5. Someone's ahead of us because of the fact that we had our bye week already.
Okay,
and they have technically one more win, and I can't remember if it's Cleveland or if it's Baltimore. They're both right there, though. Let's see.
Cleveland's defense.
It's Baltimore.
Nice.
It's Baltimore. So Baltimore's 5-2. Cleveland's also 4-2. But because we both had the bye week, Baltimore's a little bit ahead of us.
It's like a half game ahead, or however they do that. Yeah.
So
cool, man.
That'll do it. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next week, same time.